Imagine a tennis match. Okay. But the court isn't, Wimbledon green. Think more like the cracked court of gods
Okay.
in your racket. It's an instrument of ruin. The score is in points. It's measured in hate, blood, and flesh.
Wow. That paints a picture. A pretty grim one.
It really does. And that's where we're diving in today. We've got these excerpts from something called BJÖRN Borg, Serve the Flesh.
Which is described as a MÖRK Borg grindcore tennis mini RPG.
Yeah, exactly. Now look, I know that sounds completely wild, but stick with us. This odd little game actually gives us some really fascinating insights, like how games work, how rules tell stories, even how structure shapes an experience.
Right. The aim here isn't really to make you an expert in tabletop RPGs or anything. It's more like a thought experiment.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at this really unusual source to pull out some interesting ideas about, game structure, player engagement, world building, things that actually pop up in lots of different areas.
So here's the plan for this deep dive. First, we're going to break down the core of Serve the Flesh. How you make a character, these instruments of ruin,
Right.
how a match actually works, and some of the, let's call them unique elements, like the sacred churro.
Ah, yes, the churro. Can't forget that.
Definitely not. Then, to see how it all fits together, we'll look at a play test, a doubles match.
So we can see the rules actually playing out, see what kind of stories emerge from them.
Exactly. So ready to step onto this wonderfully weird court.
Absolutely. Let's serve up some sacred carnage.
All right. Character creation. Forget polite introductions. The first thing you notice is the naming. It's all Nordic plus violence.
Like Ulf Deathgrip or Astrid Malicefelli.
Right. What does that tell you immediately about the vibe?
Well, it sets a really dark, kind of over-the-top tone straight away. Nordic suggests maybe myth, bleakness, and the violence part is, well, pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. No gentle rallies here.
Definitely not. It primes you for something harsh. And it shows how even just names can, instantly immerse you. That's a neat design trick.
Totally sets the stage. Okay, then the stats. There are 4. Strength that serve power, agility footwork, presence that's for flaunting, intimidating,
Yeah.
and toughness your basic grit.
Okay.
And here's the interesting part. You assign points from -3 to +3,
Yeah.
but the total has to be 0.
The zero-sum game.
Yeah.
So boosting one thing means,
You have to nerf something else.
yeah,
What does that do to character design?
it forces specialization, doesn't it? You can't be brilliant at everything, want a huge serve. Your agility might suffer, or your presence.
So you get different builds, different weaknesses.
Exactly. It immediately creates strategic choices and potential counters. That constraint really shapes how you play.
Makes sense. Then starting gear. You get a racket.
Yeah.
Gives you +1 strength or agility. Your choice.
Reinforces that specialization again. Serve power or movement.
Right. You might get flashy shoes for +1 presence, a headband for +1 toughness, or even a gender-neutral codpiece,
Okay.
which actually gives you -1 to damage taken. So protection.
Huh. Adds a bit of dark humor, I guess. And suggests maybe taking hits is expected.
Seems likely. Oh, and everyone gets one sacred churro.
The churro returns. What does that starting gear tell us about player priorities, do you think?
Well, the racket's central, obviously. Strength, agility, focus.
Core tennis actions.
Then the shoes and headband show that presence and toughness matter too. It's not just hitting the ball.
Intimidation, resilience, and the codpiece. Well, survival. The churro being standard issue definitely signals it's important later. A resource, maybe?
Foreshadowing with pastry. Okay, so you've got your character. Violent name, specialized stats, odd gear. How does a match actually work on this cracked court?
It follows this really strict sequence. Serve, return, flaunt, toughness check.
It feels very structured, almost
Yeah.
ritualistic, right?
That's a good way to put it. It's not just back and forth. It's these distinct phases, each with its own rules. It gives the whole thing a specific rhythm, a grim ceremony.
Let's break that down. Act 1, the serve. You roll against a DR difficulty rating. DR 12 for a normal serve.
So roll a 12 or higher on the die. Standard RPG mechanic.
Right. You can try a power serve, makes it harder to return, bumps the DR up to 14 maybe. But if you fail, your serve roll.
Fault, like real tennis.
Yep, 2 faults, you lose the point. Seems fairly standard with that power serve risk reward.
It is. That choice safer serve versus powerful but riskier serve is classic game design. And the double fault tension is familiar.
Okay, next. The return. DR is always 12. Succeed, rally on, fail, opponent scores. But, and here's where Serve the Flesh really leans in.
Uh-oh.
If you roll a critical failure, like the absolute worst roll possible.
You don't just lose the point.
Oh no, you hit a ball boy, and the ball boy retaliates.
Retaliates. Okay, now we're talking MÖRK Bordeaux.
Ah, right. It injects this sudden, unpredictable danger.
Yeah.
A simple mistake leads to, well, who knows what.
That's brilliant, in a dark way. It shows how unexpected consequences can ramp up engagement. Makes failure more interesting, weirdly.
Definitely memorable. Okay, phase 3, flaunt. This happens between rallies. It's basically showboating.
Trying to look cool or menacing.
Exactly. Roll presence. Succeed, you get a +1 bonus on your next roll. Fail, you get a -1 penalty.
A little psychological warfare.
But the crit fail, you somehow hurl a femur.
A femur? Where did that come from?
Who knows? It does damage, lowers your presence. Very dramatic.
Wonderfully absurd. Fits the tone perfectly. That kind of specific, slightly funny consequence really gives a game its flavor.
And finally, toughness checks. These kick in from the 4th rally onwards.
So as the match drags on...
Yep, and the DR gets higher each time.
Right.
Fail the roll, you get a penalty on all your rolls until you rest or
Yep.
make a churro sacrifice.
Ah, the churro again. So endurance is key. It's about attrition.
Seems like it. That escalating DR means fatigue really starts to bite, and the churro is maybe your way out.
Highlights the physical grind. Makes sense for grindcore tennis.
Okay, so that's the rally loop.
Yeah.
But the game also has different match formats. They change how many sacraments you need to win. Sacraments are like match points, basically.
Okay.
You've got sudden serve quick, best of 3 sacraments,
Yeah.
standard carnage is 4, grand slam of bone is 6.
Grand slam of bone. Evocative.
Isn't it? And there's victory by glory. Need 4 sacraments, then 3 successful flaunts to win.
Oh, interesting. So presence and style can actually win you the match, not just points.
Yeah. It seems the format really shapes the experience. Quick brawl or epic grind.
Lets you tailor the game length and intensity. Makes different stats potentially more valuable depending on the format. Clever.
And the scoring.
Err.
Forget love. 15, 30, 40.
Let me guess. Something grim.
You got it. Hate, blood, flesh, ruin.
Of course.
Advantage is glory. Winning the game is a sacrament.
Even the scoring reinforces the theme. It's everywhere. Dark, violent, consistent.
It really commits. Now, doubles adds more chaos. Serving's normal, but for the return, both teammates roll.
Okay, so 2 chances.
Yeah. If either succeeds, the rally continues.
Mm-hmm.
But if both roll a critical failure, a 1,
Oh dear. What happens?
the crowd pelts them with fruit.
What?
Both take damage.
So teamwork has its risks too. Shared failure, shared pain. Nice touch.
And flaunting is cumulative in doubles.
Uh.
Both succeed, +2 bonus.
Yeah.
1 succeeds, 1 fails. Cancels out. No bonus, no penalty.
Okay, makes sense.
Both fail, they suffer shame, -2 penalty.
Ouch. So coordinating your showboating matters adds another layer to teamwork, or lack thereof.
Right. Then there's the churro flesh unity. If
Well,
teammates share a churro,
Or churro mechanics.
they both get a +2 bonus to rally rolls. But if one betrays the other, somehow rules are vague on how.
Intriguing.
The betrayer gets a permanent penalty to toughness and loses all their flesh points.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to.
Wow. So the churro becomes the symbol of loyalty or potential treachery. That's a neat social mechanic baked into a pastry.
Isn't it? And speaking of the standard ritual churro, eating one lets you do the crunch of remembrance.
Sounds crunchy.
You heal a bit, but you also have to confess a shameful secret.
Huh. That's character flavor.
Some churros, though, give powdered prophecy. You roll on a table. Could be good bonus to serve, bonus to rally. Could be bad, take damage maybe.
Mhm.
Or you might gain those flesh points.
So it's a gamble. Heal and confess, or roll the dice for a random effect. Resource management with risk.
Exactly. And there are even rare churros. From the bakery of flesh, naturally.
Of course. Where else?
Like the churro of doubles unity only works if eaten simultaneously with your partner, gives a team bonus.
Synchronized snacking for synergy.
Or the black churro full heal but permanently lowers your presence.
Ooh, a trade-off. Health versus intimidation.
And the churro of memory loss gives you a valuable flesh point, but you forget your own name.
Huh. That's fantastic. Mechanical benefit tied to a narrative. Slightly comical. Consequence. Love it.
These could lead to some seriously weird moments.
Yo.
Okay, nearly there on mechanics. Holy Triangle Doctrine
How's ominous?
kicks in if 3 players are tied on sacraments or just really hate each other.
Hmm.
All 3 roll presence. Winner chooses a bonus,
Like what?
boosts their next roll, reveal an opponent's secret, gain a flesh point, It's a way to break ties or escalate rivalries theatrically.
Using presence makes sense for that high drama moment, gives strategic options to shift momentum.
And if that happens, you roll a die for triangle outcomes, like the net starts bleeding, penalizing Sir,
Okay.
or the audience weeps, everyone loses presence,
Right.
or a ball boy just explodes.
It explodes, right?
Yeah.
It really drives home the chaos of this world. Anything can happen.
And the court itself is out to get you. A table of court hazards. Ashen court lowers agility.
Makes sense.
Blood-slicked clay, risk of slipping, taking damage. A screaming net that messes with serves.
A screaming net. Okay.
And my favorite, court of the inverted crowd.
Yeah.
You're basically playing upside down. Harder agility checks.
That's brilliant. Environmental storytelling that directly impacts gameplay forces you to adapt.
Totally. And the ball boys. We mentioned retaliation on a crit fail return.
Yeah, they fight back.
There's a whole table for that. Curse to ball makes your next return harder. Acid spit deals damage. Doll effigy tossed messes with your flaunt.
Man, those ball boys are vicious.
And it gets worse. If they retaliate 3 times in a match, one ascends to become the Umpire of Gristle.
The Umpire of Gristle.
Who issues divine curses, changes court hazards. They are not to be messed with.
Wow. They evolve from background element to major threat. That escalating chaos is quite something.
Finally, flesh points, the meta currency, earned maybe through confessions, sacrificing health, crowd favor.
Okay, what do they do?
You spend them to reroll fails, cancel critical failures, or auto-pass a toughness test.
Ah, so they give you some control. A way to mitigate bad luck or push through tough spots, your emergency button.
Pretty much a bit of the player agency in this brutal world.
Okay, so those are the pieces. Lots of dark, weird, interconnected mechanics.
Right. But how does it actually feel to play? We need to see it in action. So the document has this playtest, doubles match.
Let's see it.
Format is sudden serve, first to one sacrament wins. And the hazard is the court of the inverted crowd.
The upside down one. So agility checks are harder, DR is higher?
Exactly. Team 1, the Bleak Volleys, Gunnar Hatefist, and Freya Bloodspin.
Good names.
Team 2, the Gore Strings, Vigo Skull Smash, and Ingrid Doom Chant. Everyone's got different stats and gear.
Setting the stage for different playstyles. Okay, Rally 1.
Gunnar for the Bleak Volleys serves successfully, but Vigo and Ingrid hampered by the inverted court.
Higher agility DR.
Both fail their returns. Point Bleak Volley's first rally.
Wow, that hazard bit immediately.
Yep, then they flaunt. Bleak Volleys succeed, Gore Strings fail. Oh, wait, no, sorry. 1 success, 1 fail on each team, so they cancel out. No bonus either way.
Okay, so the court hazard dominated that first exchange. Made returning tough, maybe even flaunting tricky.
Rally 2. Vigo for the Gore String serves. A power serve, actually.
Upping the stakes.
But then, disaster for the Bleak Volleys. Gunnar and Freya both critically fail the return.
Both. Oh no, double ball boy incident incoming.
You know it. Crowd pelts them with foot damage to both. Ballboy 1 trips Gunnar. Ballboy 2 spits acid on Freya.
Jeez. All from one return attempt. That cascading failure mechanic is brutal in action.
Totally spirals. Okay, Rally 3. It's the 4th rally overall now, so toughness checks kick in.
2 passes.
Gunnar and Vigo pass. Freya and Ingrid fail. They get penalties on future rolls.
Fatigue setting in.
Freya serves, barely gets the second one in. Vigo returns okay. Ingrid fails her return. Rally continues. Gunnar hits okay. Freya fails. Vigo fails. Point Bleak Volleys again. They're up 2-0 in points for this game.
Okay, momentum shifting.
And then the flaunt phase. Double success for the Bleak Volleys. +2 bonus next roll. Double fail for the Gore Strings. -2, shame penalty. Ouch.
Yeah, that's a big swing. Bleak volleys are pulling ahead and getting a bonus. Gore strings are falling behind and getting penalized. Shows how those flaunts add up.
Rally 4. More toughness checks. Gunnar fails. Ingrid fails again. But Vigo.
Does he use the churro?
He does. Crunch of remembrance. Confesses something. Heals. And crucially clears his penalties. Smart move.
Very tactical, resetting before it gets worse.
But then Ingrid serves and double faults. Maybe the penalty's catching up. Point Bleak Volleys again. They're at ruin now. 48-0 equivalent.
Close to the first sacrament.
But in the flaunt, both teams get double successes this time. So +2 bonus each for the next rally. Gore Strings claw back a little morale, maybe.
Shows that resource use the churro can be vital. But basic errors like double faults are still costly.
Rally 5. Could be the one. Gunnar fails his toughness check, but decides to use his churro. Goes for Powdered Prophecy.
What does he get?
+1 to rally rolls. And heals. Good roll.
Nice.
He serves a power serve, boosted by the +2 flaunt bonus from before. Big serve coming.
Ingrid has to return.
And she critically fails again. Ball Boy hits her with a doll effigy, -2 to her next flaunt. Bleak Follies win the rally. That's advantage. Or glory. Match point.
Wow, Ingrid's having a terrible time with returns and ball boys. Gunnar's churro gamble paid off big time. Bleak Follies are right there.
Rally 6. Sacrament point for the Bleak Follies. Ingrid is desperate, fails toughness again, but sacrifices health points to gain a flesh point.
Ah, the meta currency.
And uses to auto-pass the toughness check. Buys herself a chance.
High stakes play, keeping herself in it.
Vigo serves, faults first, second serve is in, tense moment. Both Bleak Volleys return successfully. Rally is on.
Okay.
Gunnar feels his shot. But Freya makes hers. Gore Strings can't return it. Point, game, and Sacrament Bleak Follies. They win the match, 1 Sacrament to 0.
Wow. Close finish. Ingrid's desperation play bought them time, but Freya clutched it out. That agility focus may be paying off on the inverted court.
Seems like it. Looking back, Freya's agility and flaunts, Gunnar's serves.
Yeah.
Key for the Bleak Follies.
And for the Gore Strings, those double crit fails early on, the ball boy attacks really hurt them. Plus, the inverted court clearly made returns harder for everyone.
Yeah, the playtest really shows how all those bits, hazards, crits, resources like churros and flesh points, stats all mesh together.
Creates this chaotic, kind of brutal narrative just through the game mechanics playing out.
So even in this absolutely bonkers context, right? Grindcore tennis, bleeding nets.
Yeah.
We see these core game design ideas.
Definitely. Risk versus reward, the power serve. Resource management churros, flesh points, player interaction, hitting the ball, but also flaunting.
And how the rules themselves generate a story, an emergent narrative.
Exactly. And those principles, risk, resources, interaction, rules, creating stories, they're everywhere. Not just in games like this. Think about, well, almost any system.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Did any of this stuff, like the exploding ball boys or the memory loss churro, did it spark any ideas for you about how structure, even weird structure, shapes outcomes, even outside of games?
It really highlights how specific, maybe even seemingly arbitrary details can define an experience, make it memorable. Like the flesh churro, the angry ball boys playing upside down. They seem absurd, but they actually amplify the tension, the dark humor, the uniqueness of this game. They make it stick with you.
That's a great point. It makes you wonder about other areas, like what are the unexpected details in, I don't know, business or politics or art that have that kind of power, the little things that create a big impact.
Exactly. So maybe think about the structures you encounter every day. The rules of the road, the flow of a meeting, the way information is presented online. How do those structures, the ones you might not even notice, shape your experience, shape the results? Maybe this trip to the Cracked Court of Gods gives us a new lens to look at all those other games we're playing.